Hi, I'm weather forecaster Liam. We have severe storms threatening the south with large hail, tornadoes, and damaging winds. We will see who will be affected by these storms and torque counts coming up on TRA Weather. Before we get started with the severe threat, I just wanted to show the power outages in the states that has affected. Texas is one of them. There is currently 28,000 state outages, the main part of them in Leon County, Anderson County, and Bowie County. And as we go over to Louisiana, it's got a pretty good amount of outages too. St. Helena, and we also have Mississippi. This is where the bulk of the outages are. 56,000 people are currently without power. You can see the line of storms that affected Mississippi and how everyone lost power right through it. We currently have Winston County, 2,500 people without power. We currently have Scott, 1,800 people. Rankin County, we currently have 5,700 people without power. A lot in Mississippi. We go over to Alabama, it's starting to go there. Pickens County, we have Lamar County, Fayette County. They have quite amount of power outages too. And now let's go over to the lightning tracker. Last time I checked, there was a pretty good amount of lightning. We had a lot earlier. You can see there's still some going on. I mean, the entire state of Mississippi was lit up with lightning strikes going off every second. I think at one point we had 300 lightning strikes a minute. it was a lot. I mean, just an incredible amount. I expect the lightning to increase a little going towards Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. All right, let's go over to the forecast models for the storm. Here are the NAM models on the Cape, bulk shear, and significant tornado perimeter. Let's get started with the Cape. This is really the stuff that fuels the storms. And this is currently at about 1 a.m. Friday morning. And we have some of it, not too much, 1,330 kilojoules. Let's go a little further out and see how this goes. This is when the storms are most likely going to be hitting eastern Georgia, central Georgia, possibly even South Carolina too. We have a little more this time. That'll probably help tornadoes get fired up if the storms are active enough. And it continues to go over towards South Carolina, eastern and southeastern Georgia. And there's, again, people haven't been talking too much about Florida. They're going to be getting a pretty good amount of storms too. There's quite a bit of Cape down here. That's not going to help at all. Let's go over to our bulk shear. This is basically the storm shear. And right now, this is about 4 a.m. Friday morning. And you can kind of see where the line of storms are right there. And there's a pretty good amount of shear with this. And if we go a little forward in time to around noon Friday, you can kind of see where the storms are now. And that is not good. This will help get tornadoes fired up. And you can see where the winds are going up and the storms are going east. That just helps tornadoes get rotation really quick. Alright, here's a significant tornado perimeter model. This model is able to detect a greater chance and risk for development of tornadoes. And we don't have too much of it, but central Georgia, upper Florida, western South Carolina, they have a pretty good amount of it. Let's go a little further. This is around 11 a.m. Friday, and we got a pretty good amount of it. You can kind of see possibly where the storms are within there. Up northern Florida, central Florida, eastern Georgia, pretty much the entire state of South Carolina. Alright, let's time out these storms for you. They're currently in central Alabama and also central Tennessee, Kentucky, working their way towards Florida, and even some still in southeastern Mississippi. Let's go forward a couple hours. Right now, this is Friday morning at 1 a.m. Starting to approach northwestern Georgia, eastern Tennessee, starting to go into the Florida Panhandle. Let's go a little further now. This is Friday at around 3 a.m. Got some storms in eastern Georgia, still making their way through the Florida Panhandle. Still in Alabama, and you got the bulk of it right about to hit Atlanta. It'll be hitting Atlanta around 4 a.m. Okay, this is a few hours. It looks like there's a line that comes before the main line of storms. I'm actually expecting this storm to have multiple lines for Georgia, South Carolina, and even some extra lines for Alabama. You will see that in a second. Here we go. Looks like the main line is going to affect Atlanta and the Florida Panhandle at around 8 a.m. That's when the main line is going to be here, the one that could produce tornadoes. Not saying the first line can't, but this one has a better chance to. And still there, and we can see that line push towards central Georgia and still in the Florida Panhandle. That's moving slow there. There's the second line that develops right around there in eastern Georgia, central Georgia, a little east of Atlanta. And then we got another one that comes by, and it just keeps going on and on. And right now, this is at around 8 p.m. Friday night. So these storms are just going to last all day. They're going to come in bands. Might get some individual supercell thunderstorms that approach. And right now, the main line of the storms are in eastern North Carolina, eastern South Carolina, and approaching the Orlando area and central Florida. And we have some storms western South Carolina still getting plummeted in eastern South Carolina, southern Florida also getting some storms, eastern Kentucky, and we go a little further in time to around 11 p.m. Friday. Still have some storms for southern Florida, working its way off the coast. Still have some storms for North Carolina and South Carolina, the eastern parts, and go a little further, and look at that. It looks to be on the back end of the storm, some snow developing in Tennessee and the Appalachian Mountains. And it seems to continue and work its way up towards Kentucky and Ohio. And I'm not expecting it to amount to a lot. I don't think it's even going to get below freezing, but we will see. And after that, storms offshore and not a threat. All right, here's what to expect. We have a high tornado threat. We also have a high hail threat. And we also have a medium wind and medium lightning threat through Thursday night, Friday night for parts of Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Florida. Let's go over to our Torcon values. All right, here are your Torcon values for Thursday night and the Friday night. I have a 4 for central Alabama, Birmingham. I'm expecting some tornadoes there. A 2 for Tennessee, southern Kentucky, and western Virginia. I'm not expecting much tornadoes there. You might get some pretty decent downpours, some severe thunderstorm warnings, but not much in the way of any tornadoes. Central, eastern, western Georgia, I got you for a 4. We also have a Torcon of 3 for the Carolinas and a Torcon of 4 for Florida. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to my brand new channel and hit the bell in the corner to get notifications when I get a new video and when I go live. Thank you. See you next time.